Lessons in financial literacy are vital for providing young adults with the tools to succeed. One of the core reasons it's recently become a part of Michigan's mandatory graduation requirements.
School districts that focus on preparing students with personal finance skills are not only supporting their community's youngest members, but also the future of Michigan's economic growth.
And April is Financial Literacy Month. We're joined by the district director at Junior Achievement in Northern Michigan to talk about the importance of personal finance lessons in the classroom and how to make it all great information for our students for the future.
Yes.
Colleen Gerace is here. Welcome, Colleen.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the segue, talking about being a wise consumer and learning and creating your own budget, talking about thrift shopping and consignment.
Absolutely.
Those are daily lessons that we can set for our students.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great way to be mindful of your budget. But tell us a little bit about why personal finance in the classrooms is so important.
Why is it important? Well, Junior Achievement, our goal basically is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. Things have changed since Bill and I are so old, having graduated back in the 90s. Things are different now, and the goal generally is to prepare these students to make wise decisions, to understand that the decisions that they're making now will open up financial freedoms for them in the future. And you know, once we're in the classrooms, once we have those relationships with the teachers, to foster these ideas of financial independence with young people, it just becomes a non-essential thought to them.
I feel like we see a lot of jokes and posts on social media, but I think there's a grain of truth in them about, oh, we don't even teach you how to balance a checkbook anymore. And that's, there's some truth in
Whenever
that.
I talk to an adult, I will always ask them, what do you wish you were taught in school? And that invariably is the piece, is, oh my gosh, I wish I knew how to balance a checkbook. My credit card. Oh, well, yesterday was tax day. My daughter, who is 10 years old, actually, she goes, Mom, I learned at school today that April 15th is tax day. Does that mean anything for us? I said, yeah, Mom and Dad had to pay our taxes. She's like, well, did you? I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, we already took care of that.
She's already responsible.
Yes.
So from taxes to personal finance, budgeting, building your credit. I mean, what are some of those big topics that we should all know, our kids should know, and Junior Achievement helps?
Well, Junior Achievement, we have 3 pieces that align with the new state mandate. Actually, it's a law that our students need to have a half a credit of financial literacy training in schools now before graduation, and we offer 3 pieces. And I always like to say that these 3 programs that we can offer in the classroom to support teachers are part of standards and benchmarks of the state of Michigan Department of Education, and basically financial literacy. We have Finance Park Advanced as well as personal finance. And think about all the teenagers that are getting their first job. That's lesson number 1. How can we support them in earning and maybe saving the monies that they are acquiring on that first job?
Saving is always the hard part for the first job, because it's, I have all this money. I have $84 this week, or whatever it is.
Well, and you know, they're having probably to put, I know my son is experiencing this now, he has to put gas in his vehicle. What about that monthly car insurance payment? That's another issue. Learning about risk management and understanding, say, what insurance is. Eventually, you know, managing money. You know, what about investments? What about credit cards? And understanding the, you know, potential risk with that identity theft that is out there, because we all walk around with our cell phones. These are nice little computers nowadays that put us at risk, and so these are conversations that we have throughout those 3 pieces.
Well, we were talking about that with Rachel and our tech guy Tim yesterday about just how you don't even think about it anymore, but you're login for your bank account, your credit card. Most people have more than one credit card.
Yes,
and there's just all kinds of information flowing through your phone.
Yes.
And it's almost like having your wallet on display everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go. And again, providing that knowledge to kids, because kids nowadays, unlike those of us from back in the day,
Why do you keep saying
I know,
old?
I'm older than you, so don't worry about it. But you know, we have to make sure that they understand the risk that is out there and how it, you know, when we talk about fraudsters, you have to be mindful of that, as well as, again, once you get that first credit card, think about when you were an undergrad and you walk into that big room and all the credit card companies are sitting there and like, oh, I'll just get a pizza here and a pizza there, and that credit card debt adds up.
Especially now that you have it on your Apple Wallet.
Abs-
That's what I don't even really carry my wallet that much with me. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's easy, tap.
Yeah.
And I feel like if
mindless
it's
almost, yeah.
mindless. It's just like, oh, it's right there. I'm not seeing, I'm not giving the money away.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of times when I was right out of college too of like, okay, I would take out the amount of actual money that I was giving myself for that month
Yeah.
to spend to physically like pay it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a coffee, if it's a energy drink, whatever it is, so you can see, okay, this is how much I've left, this is how much it really is.
Honestly, I don't even carry cash anymore. I don't think I have technically in about 20 plus years, just
Yeah.
because it's, and what is the difference between a credit card and a debit card? What is a checking account? What is a savings account? We even at Junior Achievement at our headquarters down in Grand Rapids, we have a program called Finance Park for our high school students. Basically, it is a curriculum that is done in the classroom, teacher led, and it culminates in a trip to our Finance Park where these students are given a budget and they have to function in a town and create their day. And so they are receiving that experiential learning opportunity with volunteers. Again, the magic sauce with Junior Achievement is having volunteers in the classroom supporting the teachers as well as them being local.
It's like the board game of life where
Yes,
you pick your
absolutely.
career and you pick your college or non-college path and
Absolutely.
your income and your kids and houses and all that stuff all rolled into one. One of the things I love about the fact that you are working for Junior Achievement, just because you and I have known each other
Yeah.
for a few years, is that you also come from a background partially as a teacher.
I am a
So you've
teacher.
been in the classroom as well, but you've also got the teenager at home. So
I
all of
do.
this is like front of mind for you.
Ooh, it's my life. And, even walking out of the house this morning, my kids are saying like, oh my gosh, are you going to be on with Mr. Freilich this morning? I said, yes, yes, I am. And we are going to be talking about, financial literacy because, my son is experiencing that and all of his peers are. And, again, they're walking out into a world that is incredibly dynamic and we want them to feel comfortable because it can be daunting. And again, we also want to ensure that we're providing teachers with that support. So all of the programming that we have, it is a suite of financial literacy learning K through 12. Granted that mandate is for our high school students, but how refreshing is that when you're working with kindergartners, teaching them the difference between a want and a need. So by the time they're in high school, they have learned that, okay, maybe I don't need that latte from Starbucks today
Yeah.
because I have to go get something for my classroom or
Yeah, and I love that now this is a mandate in Michigan because
Yeah.
like you said, it starts early on. The habits that you start in high school or the saving habits, if you can start good ones early on in your first job and put money away for college, like
Absolutely.
especially for high schoolers, learning those skills to save up for college, to create
Yeah.
a successful life, it's
Absolutely.
crucial.
And again, the thing is we want to make sure that all the learning that they're acquiring in the classroom, they can see what it looks like out in the real world. I am a former economics teacher, and as I go through the programming with my own team, it's amazing how everything. The reality is Junior Achievement deals with reality, and the choices that we make on a daily basis. And now we are setting the stage for our students to be successful. We want them to understand, what the idea of entrepreneurship is. We had our youth summit about a month ago in Traverse City, which inspired about 100 students to actually put on their thinking caps and say, oh my gosh, I have this idea floating in my head. Why can't I do this someday? And of course I tease them. I'm like, please remember all of us when you actually do activate these plans. And you have this network of professional adults in your community to support you on that.
Yeah.
Junior Achievement is, in and out of schools all over
over.
northern Michigan, the state, the country. And I know you've got some growth for our region as well.
We do.
Wexford County, Missaukee County,
Yes.
Traverse City. I mean, you guys are everywhere. So, but tell people maybe as we wrap up here how, if they're watching now, how maybe they could get JA in their schools if it's
Yes.
not already.
Yep.
I imagine being willing to volunteer is a big part of maybe calling your principal and saying, hey,
Yeah.
let's do this and I'll help.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, my team and I are actively pursuing business professionals in all of our communities in the 14 counties that we cover. And if you are interested in being a volunteer in our classrooms, we would love that. Please reach out to us. You can find us on the internet, and I'm sure, here too at 9 and 10, you have our contact information, as well as any ideas in the schools that you want us to talk about. We can do it. We can get this programming in there. It is free to the schools. We can provide the local volunteer support, but we also do need those supports. Having the local volunteers in our local classrooms with our local students and local dollars supporting that is the key to making junior achievement working here in Northern Michigan.
That's great. Well, whether it's
Amazing.
Financial Literacy Month or not, it's good advice all year round.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Colleen, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for
Great to have
having